though she had no children except me. Other cares completely absorbed her. My father, a man still young and very handsome, had married her from mercenary considerations. She was 10 years older than he. My mother led a melancholy life. She was forever agitated, jealous, and angry, but not in my father's presence. She was very much afraid of him, and he was severe, cold, and distant in his behavior. I have never seen a man more elaborately serene, self-confident, and commanding. I shall never forget the first weeks I spent at the country house. The weather was magnificent. We left town on the 9th of May, on St. Nicholas's Day. I used to walk about in our garden in the Netskuchny Gardens and beyond the town gates. I would take some book with me, Kaidanov's Course, for instance, but I rarely looked into it, and more often than anything declaimed verses aloud. I knew a great deal of poetry by heart. My blood was in a ferment, and my heart ached so sweetly and absurdly. I was all hope and anticipation, was a little frightened of something and full of wonder at everything, and was on the tiptoe of expectation. My imagination played continually, fluttering rapidly about the same fancies, like martins above a bell tower at dawn. I dreamed, was sad, even wept. But through the tears and through the sadness, inspired by a musical verse or the beauty of evening, shot up like grass in spring the delicious sense of youth and effervescent life. I had a horse to ride. I used to saddle it myself and set off alone for long rides, break into a rapid gallop and fancy myself a knight at a tournament. How gaily the wind whistled in my ears! Or turning towards the sky, I would absorb its shining radiance and blue into my soul that opened wide to welcome it. I remember that at that time the image of women, the vision of love, scarcely ever arose in definite shape in my brain. But in all I thought, in all I felt, lay hidden a half-conscious, shamed-faced presentiment of something new, unutterably sweet, feminine. This presentiment, this expectation permeated my whole being. I breathed in it. It coursed through my veins with every drop of blood. It was destined to be soon fulfilled. The place where we settled for the summer consisted of a wooden manor house with columns and 2 small lodges. In the lodge on the left there was a tiny factory for the manufacture of cheap wallpapers. I had more than once strolled that way to look at about a dozen thin and dishevelled boys with greasy smocks and worn faces who were perpetually jumping onto wooden levers that pressed down on the square blocks of the press, and so, by the weight of their feeble bodies, struck off the variegated patterns of the wallpapers. The lodge on the right stood empty and was to let. One day, 3 weeks after the 9th of May, the blinds in the windows of this lodge were drawn up. Women's faces appeared at them. Some family had installed themselves in it. I remember the same day at dinner my mother inquired of the butler who were our new neighbours, and hearing the name of the Princess Zazekin, first observed with some respect, "Ah, a princess," and then added, "A poor one, I suppose." "They arrived in 3 hired flies," the butler remarked deferentially as he handed a dish. "They don't keep their own carriage, and the furniture's of the poorest." "Ah," replied my mother, "so much the better." My father gave her a chilly glance. She was silent. Certainly the Princess Zazekin could not be a rich woman. The lodge she had taken was so dilapidated and small and low-pitched that people, even moderately well off in the world, would hardly have consented to occupy it. At the time, however, all of this went in one ear and out at the other. The princely